Lance Mechanics here, and if you're new to the channel, I talk about automotive related issues. I like doing repairs and general stuff. So today I'm going to talk about 10, well not 10, it's more than 5, I lied. I'm going to talk about alternatives to automotive, and the general public doesn't know a mechanic is a jack of all trades, master of none, but often better than the master of one. And you never hear the full saying. We have all the skills to get into every other trade, and there's this general stigma that we're not smart enough to do other things. That is completely wrong. We're some of the best diagnosticians on the planet when it comes to anything mechanical, electrical, and generally just faulty. We have these critical thinking skills, and don't let anybody say otherwise. You can go anywhere with these abilities, and let's get into it. We're going to talk about alternatives here today. The first one we're going to talk about is HVAC. If you don't know what that means, it's heating, ventilating, and air conditioning. It's a very big trade. Everybody has houses. You're going to deal with that. What I tell people is automotive air conditioning systems are some of the hardest on the planet to diagnose. For one, your fridge doesn't drive down the road. So we get a set of skills very unique to us where we're able to diagnose AC systems very quick. Now, so can the HVAC guys. The only difference is when they go to do HVAC, everything is wide, it's open, it's accessible. It's very, very, I wouldn't say friendly to work on, but for a mechanic, it seems very friendly. And I've talked to a few HVAC technicians, and I've even seen them in the comments, and they generally prefer automotive guys because they get a grasp of the systems very quick, and they're able to diagnose them quickly. As for the heating and stuff, well, I mean, you can figure that out too. Everybody's house has a furnace. A lot of time the circuit boards go, or you got a crack manifold. Just visuals and basic checks. You'll learn as you go in this part of the HVAC world. So, HVAC. So yeah, it's something to think about. Don't get me wrong. If you're up here in automotive making decent money and you come to HVAC, you're an apprentice again. You're at the bottom of the barrel. But what you get in return is less stress. You're going to go home better at night. And eventually, very quickly, you're going to be back up where you are in automotive without the stress. And that's huge. Absolutely huge. And the stress thing I'm going to constantly mention in the video. So yeah, for number 2 is heavy equipment technician, which I've become. Currently an apprentice, but I'm learning quick. There's a few routes to go for this. I'm going to tell you straight up. It's stressful. Your body still gets beat, but it's a different kind of stress. I wouldn't trade this for automotive ever again. I'm telling you right now. The stress comes from just if a machine breaks down in the ramp, that is stressful because now you have all production in the mine being held up. That's where the stress comes in. Whereas in automotive, it's like a different kind of stress. I'll have to get into that in another video, but it's very complicated. So heavy equipment, hands down, is a 6-figure job. Doesn't seem where you go, really. In Canada, there's a lot of mining, forestry. Holy cow, there's so much production here that heavy equipment mechanics are super sought after. I imagine stateside, it's probably the same thing. I'm noticing now a lot of job sites are supplying the tools. They're paying for travel. They're flying you in. They're flying you out. You're living in campsites. They're paying LOA. There are so many more benefits to being a heavy equipment mechanic than there is being an automotive one. Automotive, they try and get you with a $5,000 signing bonus and you got to stay with them for a year. Avoid that. That's garbage. Heavy equipment, if you love turning wrenches, is where to go. Just take care of yourself. That's all I got to say. And the third one is plumbing. Plumbing in recent years has gotten pretty sophisticated, and people may be looking at me like, what are you talking about? Let's talk about in-floor heating, climate zones. I know that kind of falls under HVAC, but plumbers work with the HVAC technicians. Plumbing is one of those things, if you take pride in your work, people know. You take time, you run everything straight, you do perfect bends, you cut appropriately. It's one of those, I think it's a tedious job, and if you have an attention for detail, you can go very far in that industry. People always think down on plumbers, but you know what? They're making a killing, just like the other trades. I love watching a plumber work. Like, don't get me wrong, I've called a tradesman to my house before, and I watched them do stuff. I'm like, that's friggin' neat. Think about it. Like, I don't have much experience. Don't get me wrong. I've done all the stuff on my own house when I couldn't get a plumber in. It is an interesting trade. Don't let anybody talk down about it. It's very rare to go out to clean a clogged toilet. Don't listen to those naysayers. If there's plumbers in the comment, in the comments, add in, man. I got nothing but respect for all the trades. So it is seriously something to think about. If you have an attention to detail and you're very tedious and you like running things neat, that may be where you want to go. All the power to you. Again, you're a licensed mechanic. You're going to start off as an apprentice again, but you'll quickly climb back up because you have those skills already. That's what they want. They want the skills of a mechanic. You're going to be an apprentice again, but it won't be for long. Don't worry about it. And the next one I want to talk about is electrician. So as a mechanic, you're pretty much there. I'm going to annoy some people in the comments, but you have all the basic theory, you have the hands-on. The only difference is you're dealing with more extreme voltages, which has more current. I've talked to a lot of electricians. They always say mechanics come in and they're very, very scared of electricity. It's because we know direct current doesn't take much to kill you, and you're dealing with house currents. And if you become an industrial electrician, you're dealing with up to 600 volts. And then linemen and all the other things that go with it. But you know what? I've noticed in that industry, it's take your time, do everything safely. There is always a bit of a push no matter where you work, but it's all about safety. And there's enough people around you to support you to get you through the day. Same thing again, you're a licensed mechanic. You're going to start off as an apprentice, but it's going to quickly go up again. I personally love electrical. My goal underground is to get heavy equipment license and then get into the 600 volt side. So that'd be industrial electrician. For people who don't know, mining machines don't run on diesel all day. They drive up to the face and they do what they got to do, but they're plugged into a 600 volt trailing cable, and that's how they drill. It's all 600 volt. Half our machines are 600 volts, so it's worth me learning that industry if they let me. So yeah, it's a very, very good industry to be in. I got nothing but respect for electricians. They do deal with the same wear and tear we do, and I think they're probably exposed to more asbestos because they're climbing through old houses. So don't get upset with electricians or any other tradesmen. They go through what we go. So the next one, building turbines. It is kind of niche or whatever the hell you say. It is a 6-figure job all the time, every time. If you're in the top out gig, that's building the turbines, and all you need is a heartbeat. I know that sounds crazy, but that's all you need is a heartbeat and a clean criminal record. Going from automotive to that, I just had a blast. Like, you're the thrill of landing huge components, 300,000 pounds, 150 meters in the air. You're grabbing under 300,000 pound loads and just moving them with your hand. It's awesome. You're calling it in on the crane. It is a thrill of a lifetime. And it's such a huge industry for when you're on the wind farm. There are so many jobs. You got MCC, the people who build the turbines. You got drivetrain people who put the drivetrains together. The top out crew, we build the turbine. Quality control, offloads. There's so many positions. And the money is stupid. You're going to make 6 figures. And a lot of it is LOA. What that means is living out of area allowance, and that's untaxable. So you could expect $6,000 a month in untaxable income. And I've been recommending it for young people because you do it for 2 or 3 years, you can get pretty good ahead in life, save up, and then go for save up for college or university for a better career. Up to you. This is going to seem like an odd one, but small engines is where it's at right now. If you have a city, small engine repair guys are disappearing. Or sorry, if you're in a city or you're in the countryside, they're just disappearing. So small engines can be lawnmowers, whippersnippers, side-by-sides, anything that's generally not in a vehicle. And it is such a thriving business right now. I know people who are doing it and they're making $100,000 a year. And I'm not saying there's a lot of under-the-table cash jobs, but that's up to you. It's very profitable. The guys who do it are retiring. People are generally they're opting to repair. That's all I got to say. You can do it as a side hustle, and it's going to lead into this next one as a side hustle or a permanent job. I know one guy. So, as you know, everything's going battery, right? That means your whippersnippers, lawnmowers, everything's going battery. And Nobody's repairing these things, and it's not a built-in obsolescence. It's just people don't know how to repair them. So you get one smart guy who just understands DC current. There's really nothing to these machines and can fix windings and melted wires. He's making 100 grand a year in his backyard. 100 grand a year just repairing battery tools. And it's not hard. It's not complicated. As mechanics, you can do this as a side hustle or a full-time job. I may even consider doing it as a side hustle. I got the room. Problem is, this is where it gets funny. People who don't want to repair it or can't afford to fix it, they just say, hey, keep it. And then next thing you know, your entire garage is filled up with battery junk. I don't like that. I hate clutter. This is too much clutter for me right now. And it's just one of the perks of doing it. And then now you have an inventory of parts and you can just swap it to customers, help them out, kind of thing. Something to think about. Next one is factory maintenance worker. Basically, you're a factory mechanic. I've seen it in the comments a lot. Some of them are unionized, so it's very easy going. You're the mechanic of a building. Think of it like that. Machines break. They need someone who's smart to come in and fix it. And people operating them are just general labor some days, and they need a skilled mechanic. It's something to think about. So many people in the comments were mentioning it, how they left automotive and became a factory maintenance worker. Good for them. I can't speak on what it is, but they're saying, just from the comments, they're like, all their stress is gone, they're making way better money, their health, their life, everything's improved. What's there not to hate about that then? I don't have many factories around here, but there is the mine, so it could fall into something like that. Here's a bonus one to think about. Fleet maintenance. For people who don't understand what that is a company will have something like 50 or 100 trucks, and you're just maintaining those trucks. That's all you're doing day in and day out. There's probably no rush because they have spare trucks, or they don't. You're going to have stressful days. You're just constantly maintaining that fleet of trucks, and it doesn't have to be heavy equipment stuff. I'm talking about like F-150s, Rams. That's fleet maintenance. It's probably a different pace than a lot of mechanics at the dealership or private garage are going to be able to handle. You're going to slow down at first, but if you slow down, take that time to be safe. Take that time to not be stressed. Do things properly, and hopefully it works out for you. So I know there was a little more than 5 here, and there's dozens more, and I'm hoping in the comments people who've left the automotive industry can say, hey, I went to this industry and I'm doing way better. For me, it's the stress. I went from being a auto mechanic to turbining because of the stress. It was just big nuts and bolts, and it turned into something I really liked, but unfortunately there was too much travel for me, so came back to my city, and now I'm an underground heavy-duty mechanic. And that is a whole other beast in itself, and I love it. So if you made it this far in the video, like and subscribe. I'm Lance Mechanics, and have a good day.